Hey guys, welcome back to Unqualified Critics. It's UC here. So, Arcade One Up posted an update video. It's not listed on YouTube, but it is on YouTube. But this was posted on, I think, their Facebook group, maybe for the Infinity Game Table. But this is answering a question a lot of you have had, which is when I'm playing a board game on the Infinity Table, what about games that invoke pieces that are supposed to be hidden from my opponents? So imagine if, like, you were playing a card game, you'd be playing poker. Well, in a board game, think about Scrabble. And that's in fact the example that they show in this video. So they show exactly how this would work. Basically, the pieces are hidden until you press the space on the screen to expand and reveal the pieces. And it assumes then that you're physically covering up with like your arm or your hand so your opponents can't see. And it's interesting because this seems like a pretty reasonable solution, like it works, but I think it's a little bit more low tech than people were wanting from an electronic game table. So when you look at the comments on that Facebook group, this post got some really negative comments. People kind of frustrated that this is not fancy enough. Somebody posted a link to a video of a Microsoft Surface. So you guys know Surface now as these tablets, but it used to be this big commercial grade, basically digital screen that you could interact with. And you could play Settlers of Catan, and they had a special visor that the screen would detect if that visor was over your part of the screen, over your cards. And then if it was, it would reveal the cards to you while also concealing it from your opponents. It was really fancy, it was really cool. But that was part of a product that Microsoft poured endless money into on research and development. A lot more than the $1 million or whatever will be on this Kickstarter. A huge amount of money, because that Surface product to them, that was an important corporate product, and it was just like this spearhead thing where they put a ton of money into it because they knew that that was their research and development for maybe future touchscreen applications. And whatever, it's not really about Surface, but my point is I don't think we should expect that level of sophistication here. But it is a valid criticism to say, look, if I'm going to spend $600 on an electronic game table, I want it to feel electronic. I don't want it to feel low tech. And what a lot of people really seem to want is a companion app. They want an app on their smartphone so that when they're playing this game, on their phone are the game pieces. And I think that that is a really good solution. I think that is probably what Arcade One Up should give us. But keep in mind, developing a native mobile app, it's not free. You know, you got to spend money on that, and then you've got to have that app be compatible with a long list of board games they're going to add. So now every time they add a new board game to the Infinity Game Table, they've got to make sure it's also compatible with a separate app. So you're adding some complexity there. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying they shouldn't do it. I'm not trying to defend this sort of low-tech offering, but I can see from their point of view, you'd say, well, we want to play Scrabble. We don't want our opponents to see these pieces. Well, great. You just put your hand here and you're just going to hit the button and you're good to go. That makes sense on paper. I think the only reason people are pushing back is because they feel like this is an expensive product and that this isn't a very expensive solution. So we'll see if they're going to react to that feedback. I don't have a big dog in this fight. I don't think it matters a whole lot either way personally. But I think if they can get a companion smartphone app and let you do this from your phone, I think they're probably going to move some more units. The other thing I wanted to cover, now this has already been covered elsewhere, so I don't want to go too deep on this. I don't have a whole lot to add, but the iiRcade posting has been made public on the FCC website. And so we see their PCB board, we see their hardware with some new images. We see what looks like hardware that's going to be broken down for flat packing and assembling. I thought this was going to be more like the Neo Geo MVSX, where it comes pre-assembled in a crate, but that's not going to be the case. But there's not a lot of news here. I just find it fascinating that we see images of their smartphone apps. So speaking of smartphone apps, and then iiRcade is the first company that's going to do this. I mean, this is a completely new startup. They did just raise several $1 millions, so they got money to move now. But this was their plan from the start, and I am really shocked that Arcade One Up or even At Games haven't done this yet. I really am. The ability to create purchase for more games, that's going to make licensors happy. I really think this is the future, where you buy an arcade and it comes with games, and if you want to add more games in the future, you can. It's just cool to see these screenshots, because I've been talking about this for over a year, that we should have this, that this should be an option. I think it's a very pro-consumer move to let us download the games that we want and skip the games we don't want. I think that's a nice touch. It also respects the fact that we all have limited space in our house. So I have quite a bit of space, but it's still limited. I think I'm up to 11 arcades now, maybe 12. I'm not sure the exact count. Let's call it 10 plus. And I'm having to really start to figure out, okay, if I get the Buck Hunter cabinet, where's that going to go and all of that. If you can, imagine someone who doesn't have a big gamer. Imagine if you live in an apartment or you live in a small home, or you just don't want to dedicate a whole bunch of floor space to arcades. I mean, I have to think there are a lot of people out there that fit that description. So to be able to buy this and download the games you want is fantastic. It does notably show some pricing. I have no idea if this is final, but this is what's in the instruction manual, and it is $7.99 for Double Dragon. I think that's okay, but I think they would probably sell a lot more if they kept it under $5 for older games like Double Dragon. Now, Double Dragon's a bad example because it's going to come on the cabinet, at least the original will, but you guys get my drift. All right, so that's all for now. Quick update. Hope you guys are having a nice evening and wish you all the best. If you enjoy the video, hit that like button, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Hey, consider hitting that join button to support the channel, and thanks so much for watching.
Dripping lights paint the sky.